Hello and welcome again to another tutorial. My name is Demo and this is going to be quite a short video, I think. It's about making an AFK override for your avatar. This has been requested quite a few times in Discord, so I figured I'd make a quick video on it. If you're not aware, in Avatars 3.0 you're able to modify, there's a new AFK animation, and you're able to override that, as well as all of your walking animations and things like that. So we're going to set up a new AFK state for this. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, we've been using the FX layer, but this is an action. Excuse me. So we need to create a new controller, and you'll see I have a test action down here, but we're going to start fresh and create an animator controller and just name it action, or whatever you want. I like to have things match. So you click on the default action button and then you just drag your action controller into there. Now, with action selected, go to your animator, and in layers you'll want to add a new layer and name this AFK. Change your weight to 1. It's very similar to before. And in parameters, we're going to do something special. Previously, we would use the stage parameters to make up a parameter for us, but there are a few parameters that are built in and available to you, and if you need a list to that, they're in the VRC 3.0 documentations, which you can find through the Discord, and I'll leave a link below in the description. But what we want is a boolean that's called AFK. Now this is set by the game and will toggle on and off depending on what you do in the game, and we're just going to put this in here so that we can access it. Alright, so with that in there and our AFK selected, what we want is a new state, which in this case, as usual, I will call it weight. And then we want a new state that I'm going to name AFK on. And then we make a transition from wait to AFK on. And in the transition, when you select the line, the condition is going to be AFK is true. So when the AFK is turned on, it will go here and you'll play your AFK animation. Now I've put together a very simple animation. It's actually pretty lame, but that's the basic animation. And then you want to add a behavior, which is avatar perimeter driver. Or, no, sorry, wrong tutorial. VRC playable layer controller. And you want it on action because by default the action layer, which is what this controller is in, is set at 0, and we need to blend it to 1. And then it needs a blend duration. I'm not sure what the minimum of this can be, but 0.25 seems to work just fine. So we throw that in there and that should be done. Oh, no, actually there's one other thing we need in here. We need to add another behavior, which is tracking control. And this, basically, you can set it, if you set it to this side, this takes all of the tracking control and gives it to the animation, so that you moving your hands no longer moves the hands on the avatar. It basically turns off all your tracking and puts it in, gives the control to the animator. and so that's what we want for the AFK. So now once that's set up, we can create another empty and call this one AFK off. And make a transition. This transition is going to be when AFK is false. So when you turn off the AFK. And here we're going to do very similar. Set your playable layer control, but set it at 0, or leave it at 0, so that it resets that weight. And another tracking control, and set it to tracking, so that turns all your tracking and everything back on. And then from there, just transition to exit. Now, this actually is done. You can upload this, the AFK works, it'll run this animation that's on this layer, and that's all there is to it. However, my animation, when you're using anything that's not the FX layer, you do not want any kind of blend shapes, like for facial expressions, things like that. Those are only supposed to be on the FX layer. Well, I want this sleepy animation to play, but I also want my avatar's eyes to close. So what I'm going to do is go back to my FX controller and create a new layer here that's also AFK, and turn my weight up to 1, go into parameters and add that AFK boolean, and making sure I'm in the AFK layer, I'm going to basically rebuild what I just did, except it's not going to have any controllers in it, just a different animation. So this is again weight, create state empty, AFK on, AFK off, and drag my exit over here. Create a transition from weight to on, from on to off, and from off to exit. Now these transitions are exactly the same. We make AFK true. This one is AFK false, like so. And on the AFK on, like I said, there's a second animation that I want to play, which is closing its eyes. So I have an eyes closed animation that's just for the facial animations. There's no body movement or anything like that on it. You just put that in there, and now when you trigger the AFK state, it will run this layer as well as the layer in the action that's also waiting for the AFK state. And it'll run them both at the same time. Just make sure all your weights are at 1, and that should be it. And now you can upload, go to your build and test, and I will skip this for you since it takes a little while. Alright, now that that's done, we can hit OK and switch over to the game. And in the game, as usual, we will reload our avatar. And once that's reloaded, then you can test the AFK. If you're in desktop mode, like I am here for the video, you can hit the end key and it puts you in AFK. And as you can see, it plays the little animation. I can no longer move the screen around. It detects that I'm away from the keyboard. In VR, if you take your headset off, it will automatically activate the AFK state. Also, if you open the Steam VR menu, it will also activate the AFK state. And I believe there's another, yeah, you can get to it through the menu here as well. If you want to do it that way without actually taking your headset off or anything like that, you can get to it through the menus. Alright, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully it was useful for you. I will catch you in the next one.